What's up, y'all? Look, Snoop here. Thank you for joining me here on my YouTube channel. If you have not subscribed already, go ahead and click that button. Look, you never know when we're gonna have episodes popping out. So you wanna make sure that you stay subscribed and stay connected because we are educating over here and showing some unique things. So today, I'm actually at a creative space called Pop Up and Create that is owned and operated by my girl, LASHANA West. Any of you guys that have been to the National Salon Suites Conference, you've actually seen her speak 2 times in a row. Look, she is a business mindset coach and therapist. And so we're gonna have a very interesting fireside chat this Sunday. Look, let me tell you guys something about me. I do not believe in working Sundays, but I am here. So that means it's gonna be worth it. It's gonna be worth your time. And so thank you for tuning in. Make sure you also head on over to my website, whoissnoop.com. I have a book that's gonna be coming out soon. And so you wanna make sure that you are in the know. All right, y'all, let's do it.
All right, so we are going to do a quick panel. And I'm so excited because when I thought about a silent killer, somebody who's doing their thing, making their mark, and not really caring about what everybody else thinks, because that's literally my motto, I had to have the one and only Snoop in the building, right? So can we give it up for my dog, Snoop? What's poppin', what's poppin'?
Thank y'all.
Have a seat.
Appreciate it.
This is a little Amazon couch, so don't sit too hard.
Look, I know you said you about to outgrow the space. We're gonna outgrow this sofa for real.
I love it. So listen, y'all, I had to have one of the best in the game at what she does in Atlanta to chat with me today, because I think a lot of times we get so fixated in what everyone else is thinking about what we're doing. But when you stay in your lane and focus on you until the focus is on you, literally things come in abundance. I also chose Snoop because my platform is called Healing While Building. And I know this is what she's been doing. This is what she continues to do. Because at the end of the day, life's gonna always life. And we still gotta get up, serve, even when things are going crazy. And this is the epitome of healing while building. So I had to have her in the building. Can we give her some love? Awesome.
Appreciate that. Thank y'all. Thank you.
So Snoop, for those who don't know who you are, let everybody know who you are and what you do.
Okay. Excuse me. We'll be here all day if I really was to like go through all of the things that I do. But first of all, I want to give you guys, before we go any further, my website, whoissnoop.com. My Instagram is also whoissnoop, so you guys can check out just a little bit more information about me. Just to give you guys just a little snapshot of who I am. So I've been here in Atlanta probably for about the past 15 years. 39 years young. I'll be 40 in a couple of weeks. I am a serial entrepreneur. I feel like I coined that term. Not a lot of people was going by serial entrepreneur when I first started, but all right. So I started off more so in the hospitality industry. So I own several restaurants. How many of you guys ever been to Escobar? Esco Marietta, Escobar downtown. Okay, yeah. So we also have a location in Dallas. We have one in Memphis, Columbus, Ohio. And so that is a brand that I own with the rapper 2 Chainz. Also used to own a spot here in Atlanta called the Hookah Hideaway, Crave, members only. So several different restaurants. I then got into owning salon suites. So I have a brand called Remedy Spa and Salon Suites. It's a franchise brand, so I have probably about 8 different locations throughout the southeast part of the country. I'm also a coach, so I help a lot of people open up their own salon suite business, getting business funding, fixing their credit. What else do? I got a luxury car service. I got my hands in a lot of little different things. So big investor, do a lot of silent investing, a lot of silent partnering. And at this point in my life, I always said that once I turned 40, I basically kind of wanted to semi-retire. And so that's what I'm working on doing. I have a reality show that's going to be coming out called Snooping for Love. So y'all stay tuned for that. And then I also have a book that is going to be coming out. So Toria, who you guys will be hearing from, has she already spoken? Okay, so who you guys will be hearing from later, she's also doing my book for me as well. So
period, Pooh.
the best, ain't she?
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. And so my book is a two-sided book. And so it focuses on telling my story and, you know, my journey in life. And then the other side of the book is a healing part because, you know, we're not going to get, you know, real sad today. You know, a lot of my speaking, you know, I end up kind of tearing up a little bit. But about 2.5 years ago, I lost my only child. Katera, she passed October 2nd, 2022. I went through a divorce, you know, last year. So just have been through a lot of the tragic things. So whereas, you know, I've been able to benefit from a lot of God's blessings and, you know, be you know, very much so successful, you know, I've also endured, you know, a lot of pain and grief and, you know, I am currently on a continuous, you know, healing journey, you know, because healing looks different, you know, with different things that you go through and at different points in your life. And so I think one of the biggest things that I learned through my journey is that, of course, life is short, you know, to always, I tell people all the time, I normally do not work on Sundays, but for LASHANA,
I didn't
had
know
to make
that.
sure. Oh, no, baby, I do not believe in working on Sundays. I do not believe in working on vacation.
I love that.
And, you know, I tell people all the time, you know, when I pass, my tombstone is not going to say owner of everything. You know, I've owned all these wonderful businesses. That's not going to say, that's not going to be what's going to be on my tombstone. It's going to say, you know, mother, hopefully again, wife, you know, sister, daughter, etc. So those are the relationships that are most important to me and what I focus primarily on now. So, and that's, I think, one of the largest things, you know, that losing my daughter taught me is just even more so. I was always big on having work-life balance, but definitely even more so now.
I love it. Let's give that a round of applause. So listen, y'all, I'm always in producer mode, so I'm going to do some incidental teaching, yes? Raise your hand if usually when you introduce yourself, you just rush through it because you just want to get through it so you can just go to the next thing. Raise your hand when you introduce yourself. Everybody should be raising their hand because that was a TED Talk, and this is no shade. We got to go in the pocket and take our time to share because literally if she truly wanted to give it all, we'd still be sitting here. But I think a lot of times we're so fixated on getting through the moment, we got to be fully present. That alone, I didn't know she didn't work on Sundays. I can't wait till I don't work on Sundays, right? But because we built a relationship and I've served in several capacities, she's like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to do her a what do they call it, solid? She did me a solid, right? So relationship building. But I also want to share, this is called Marching to Success, this mini summit, right? When you think of marching into success, what comes up for you, being that it's so subjective, but like, where does your mind go when you hear that?
Marching into success, you know, I think about, you know, like marching, so, you know, just kind of like having your head up, you know what I mean? Strong, you know, powerful, you know, just kind of, you know, having an armor on of not allowing anything to deter you from success. You know, that's, you know, what I think about.
Yeah, I love that. And then so like, I heard you say that I'm continuing to heal because y'all know healing is not finite. How can we have harmony, because I don't believe in balance, have harmony with grinding, doing all the things, because everything that you shared, I'm like, whoa, a lot, right? And some people are trying to do one. So how do you do that and still have harmony with life balance?
Well, I think that it's important, you know, with anything you do to, and my pastor actually was preaching on this today in church, but to have moments of self-reflection, you know, and I think when you do that, that stops you from always thinking, because a lot of times, you know, we will accomplish something and then we're already thinking about the next thing, you know, what's next, you know, versus, you know, stopping, smelling the roses, taking those moments of reflection, because then that is how we really grow. You know, you grow when you are able to reflect, you know, on the journey or reflect on, you know, what it is, you know, that you've accomplished. So I think even taking that into, you know, life, you know, not just business, but, you know, life as well, you know, taking moments, you know, to reflect, you know, in life, you know, taking moments to travel, you know, taking moments to actually be in the moment, you know, because a lot of times, and I am probably one of the most guilty people of this is just like always being on the phone, you know, versus, you know, just really like enjoying that moment, you know, with the people that you're with.
So good. Who's guilty of always trying to capture? Meaning being on the phone, whether you record it or you're consuming, right?
That's me. That's me.
Yeah.
I'm a social media queen. I'm always like, gotta post a moment, gotta show, you know, gotta get the best photo, you know. So, and sometimes that really takes away from the moment, and just the enjoyment, you know, of actually what you're doing and the people that you're with.
Love that. Well, since we're in the content space, Snoop, I do want you to kind of speak on the importance of intentional content creating, not aimlessly, not random, but how has content impacted you and your brand?
Oh, I mean, it has majorly, you know, impacted me and my brand. And, you know, I'll tell you, I'm not the best person at creating reels. You know, I'm not the best person at, you know, taking the photos, but I do document the journey. And I think that that is extremely important. You know, I tell my students and my clients, you know, so I was telling you guys that I'm a coach when it comes to, you know, salon suites, and I do a national salon suites conference, right? And so I tell all of my students, you know, you should be documenting your journey, you know, from day one, you know, the moment you start that business, you know, as you're going and looking at locations, you know, even before you have one, you know, because you are basically getting fans, you know, during that time period, you know, fans of your business, you know. So documenting the journey and creating content is super, super important because, you know, if you don't do that, nobody knows what you do, you know. And so I think that is, you know, a lot of people, they feel like, okay, well, you know, when I post something business-wise, I don't get as many likes as I do when I post, you know, a personal photo or whatever. Who cares? They still see it.
Yep.
They still see it. Mix it up a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna post, you know, like you look on my Instagram page right now, right? So I'm not gonna post like 3 business posts in a row, you know. So I'll post a picture of me or something like that I know that's gonna get a lot of attention. And then also as I see, so like when I'm traveling, that's when my story views really go up, right? Oh, I'm gonna make sure I sneak some business posts in there as well, you know, while y'all 4,000 or 5,000, 6,000 people are looking at my story, you know, to see how my Egypt trip was. Y'all make sure y'all also know that I'm selling this salon suite course.
Right.
I got some openings up for the inner circle, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, use your, like I always say, you know, if I wasn't in business, I wouldn't even be on Instagram. You know, use it to make money. You know what I'm saying? Don't just use it to be in other people's business and let people be in your business rent free. You know, hell, make some money while you're at it.
That's good. That's good. Remember earlier, y'all, when I said that content exercise connected to what you have for sale or what you do? So keep that in mind. So I chose you to be like the silent killer focus, and I didn't put that on the flyer because I didn't want the algorithm like, oh, killer. But when you think of silent killer, like, do you resonate with that? Tell the truth.
So. Yeah. Because silent killer, you know, to me, and you know, I guess, you know, being here is like, you know, I embody, you know, a lot of the things, you know, that are up here, you know, a lot of the things that she's speaking to you guys about. And, you know, I know what she do. You know, I haven't sat in not one course or class, you know, that y'all have been in, but you know, of course, I know why I'm here, you know, because, you know, I am somebody that has, you know, been through a lot of things that can mentally destroy a person, you know, and I've had to, you know, continue to go on. So, yeah, definitely resonates with me.
I love that. And so I want to go deeper about, even though you've never like purchased anything from me or been in a course or been in an intimate environment, when it comes to branding and being what you are known for, why is that important, and how is it that when I say, hey, come speak, you didn't even have to say, what are the questions, who's the audience, what are we speaking about? And this is just for me to get my flowers real quick. I ain't gonna cap on y'all, right? What have I been doing for you to be like, yes, she's solid?
Oh, I mean, well, number one, I knew I couldn't say no. You know, you've come and you've spoken at, you know, both
Several.
You know, so I was telling you guys I do a National Salon Suites conference. And
hey, shameless plug, write it down, go to the Instagram because y'all better be there. When the next one?
It's in October, and we're actually doing it in Baltimore this year. So taking it to the DMV area. Yeah, so this will be the 3rd annual one.
Oh, that's gonna be dope.
But yeah, so LASHANA, has I've actually met her a little bit before the very first conference that I did, and maybe had I not lost my daughter, I may not have even thought to put this segment into the conference. But it's so important to make sure that number one, you have the right mindset going into business, but that no matter what you go through in life, that you can keep that mindset, because like she said, life is going to life, right? And so she did such a great job at the very first conference. We knew we had to have her back at the second conference. Not only did I have her back at the second conference, but she's actually spoken to, my inner circle students, my mastermind students. We have several of my students that, have hired her on an individual basis. I have one student in particular, and I know she would not mind me sharing this, but she's actually going through a situation where she is in the process of losing her husband, and she credits LASHANA with helping her to not lose her mind during this, because, she's losing her husband. They have 2 children together. He has brain cancer. So, there's even been times where he's been physical with her, and going from somebody who was just like a gentle giant, before this happened. And she has to make sure that she stays in the mindset of this is not him. This is a disease, that he's going through. And so I don't care who you are on this earth. Unless you leave this earth very, very young, and I don't see no, 18, 21-year-olds in this room, but you're going to go through something, while you are on your journey to success, or getting that great job or whatever it is that, your goals are. And so what LASHANA does is extremely important because, we don't talk about that a lot, until it actually happens. We don't talk about, okay, well, what does that look like? How can I've lost my only child. How can I still get up and go to work? How can I still get up and lead people? Not only am I getting up and going to work, but I also have to be a leader once I get there. How do I put myself in the mindset of doing that, knowing just last night I've been crying my eyes out and only got 2 hours of sleep, So, so that's why, LASHANA is so important to me. And when she hit me up, I didn't ask no questions other than, girl, when is it? How long is it going to be?
She ain't sending an invoice. I ain't getting no invoice.
And what side of town is it going to be on, So, but no, definitely happy to be here, and I appreciate you thinking of me.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm an empath, so even when you started sharing about the client that I work with, it just hit my heart. And at the end of the day, y'all, we are leading while bleeding. What that means is we show up every day, shake it like everything cool, and then as soon as you turn that live off or as soon as you leave the stage, you're crumbling inside. And at the end of the day, you got to be aware of that because we want this thing to be sustainable and we don't want to sacrifice ourselves for wealth. You don't have to. She easily could have said, hey, it's Sunday, I can't. I would have said, this would have been my response. Thank you for having clear boundaries because I get it, right? So before we wrap up, and do Q&A, because I'm doing like 5-10 minutes Q&A. What do you want to leave them? And I know this conversation was very all over the place, very random, but I believe in going with my gut. I never have any questions planned. I never have any points planned because when you know you're in alignment, all you got to do is be obedient, right? So whatever you want to leave the audience, you see the vibe. It's a collective of different people that do different things, and then we'll have 5 or 10 minutes for Q&A.
All right, cool. What I would say that I want to leave with is, just make sure that each and every day you're walking in your purpose, okay? And sometimes it takes some of us longer than others to find what our purpose truly is. And it's crazy because before my daughter passed, and my daughter was very, very spiritual. And, she was asking myself, asking my grandmother, asking my mother, which is, her grandmother, Gramps, what is my purpose? What do you think my purpose is? Why am I here? And I think my daughter's purpose, honestly, was to teach me more about what's most important in life, And so I think, and there's no way that I can lose her and not and tell this lady, no, I can't come and speak, just because it's Sunday. You know what I'm saying? And so because, I now know that my purpose is to share my story,
Yep.
With others, that may be going through the same thing and, just don't know how I can continue to pick up and do this thing called life, because it's hard, it's hard, and some losses are bigger than others. Some things that we go through in life, are bigger than others, but I think it's very, very important, if you stay connected to your purpose, then that will help you along your healing journey and different things that you go through in life.
Love that. Let's give her some love. Awesome. So we're going to do a quick Q&A. Just raise your hand. I'll call on you. Allegra, what do you got for us?
My first investment was actually, okay, I have a very colorful past. Let's just start there. I've done a lot of things, that I've had to, pray on and, ask for forgiveness on. But anyway, so my first investment that I can speak of in a room full of people without getting no charges is my first investment. So I actually did a calendar when I lived in Nashville, Tennessee. It was called Wet Dimes in the Key. It was a calendar of 12 different models. And, after the calendar was produced, we sold the calendar by going to various different lounges and clubs, hosting nights. And that is what got me interested in, beginning into the hospitality business, which would, eventually lead me into opening up, my first lounge. And so that was my first investment. My second one is I actually opened up my own lounge at age 24. I invested $30,000 into it. It was all of the money I had. Within 30 days, all of the money was gone. The lounge was closed, and I was starting over again. And a lot of this is on my website too. So when I first moved to Atlanta, they say you can't go somewhere and recreate yourself. They lie. No, I'm playing. But my name is very unique. And so I don't know, I just really didn't want everybody calling me by my name. I didn't want people looking me up and all that type of stuff. And so I wanted to have a nickname that I went by. And I thought Snoop was cool. Me and the rapper Snoop share in a lot of extracurricular activities that we like to do. Long hair, braids, toot. So, yep, I've been going by this nickname for about 15 years.
Clock that T. Y'all be clocking that T. I learned that from TikTok. Well, anyway.
Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
On a Sunday. Keisha, what's poppin'?
Okay, so the mindset that has helped me, because I've had, I've failed many times, at trying to do different business, endeavors, different business ventures. The mindset that has helped me is that, you have to keep going, I can't relish in that failure, because it's I already know what it looks like if I stop. Okay, so if you stop, it looks like just exactly what your life is right now.
Yep.
Apparently, you weren't satisfied with what right now looks like. That's why you tried in the first place. Okay, but if you dust yourself off and try again, you may make it next time. Okay, but if you don't, that's it. That's the finish line for you. For me, I didn't want that to be my finish line each time that I failed. So I took some moments of reflection and I learned and applied what I learned so that I could try to be more successful the next go round. I think also too, a lot of times, we get into things blindly, without, proper mentorship, proper course, proper training, etc. And I think that is one of the things that has gotten better in life, is that almost anything that you want to get into, someone else has already done it.
Yep.
And what I would recommend is that if you're going to invest in a business, if you're going to take all that time, energy, and money and invest in a business, invest in a coach first. You know, that is automatically going to increase your likelihood of success. When the love is gone, you know, when it no longer excites you. So not just, you notice I didn't say anything about money, you know, or finances, because, you know, sometimes businesses are going to have up and down seasons, you know, but when you no longer have any fight in you for that business and the money is gone, you know, I think it's time to move on to something else. Great question. Something that sticks out to me is, I'll never forget this, a really good friend of mine, I had hired him to help with my menu in my very first Esco restaurant. And when we first opened Escobar, I used to be there all the time, all day long, doing everything, sweeping the floor, helping cook, running to the store. Now, you will never see me doing none of that now. However, I'll never forget, he came in there, after his shift was over there, he came in there with some people that he wanted to introduce me to. And, you know, I was busy doing something work related, and I was just like, oh, hey, y'all, and, you know, kept going. And he grabbed me and he said, look, he said, if you don't let the manager be the manager, you're always going to be doing this, you know, and at some point you just have to extend trust. We always say trust is earned, but I think really we give people trust and then we take it back when we realize that we can't trust them. You know, think about in a relationship, you know, you go into relationships thinking you can trust the person, and then when they do something that rattles that trust, you start willing it back and taking it back in. And so that's how it works, you know, with in business as well. When you hire that person, go ahead and trust them. Now, you know, you ain't going to trust them to the point you're not checking your bank account and checking behind your money and all of that. But you're going to slowly but surely give them tasks. You're going to evaluate it. And then eventually, you know, you realize if this is somebody that's trustworthy or not. Another big thing is that once you see that somebody is not capable of fulfilling the role that you've hired them to do, you have to let them go quickly and replace them. You know, so, you know, you have to make quick changes in business, you know, because a bad manager can destroy a business very quickly. It can destroy a reputation very quickly. You know, if I get bad reviews in my restaurant, generally it's not on me. I'm not even there, you know, but it's because the staff isn't doing their job and then the manager is not doing their job, you know. So, you know, you have to extend trust, you know, to people that you hire, you know, to give yourself a life, you know.